Welcome back to What Matters This Week. I'm Lauren Maloney. Thanks for joining us. Michele Heleba is here from the American Red Cross. She is the district manager of donor recruitment for both Vermont and New Hampshire. Michele, appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Lauren.
No problem. You know, there's so much going on for the Red Cross, especially into the summer when we're always talking about that crucial time where pints of blood are needed most important. Of course, we are in a time where things are a lot different right now, but I guess the big question, how much more closer to normal do you think the Red Cross is right now?
Well, I think we're getting a little bit closer to normal. One of the things that is a bit of a concern this summer is the excitement about the summer and the fact that we haven't really, over the last year, really been able to get out and do things. So the focus is definitely for most people, is going to be on enjoying those summer activities. And sometimes that puts donating blood on the back burner. So we're really trying to get the message out that we still need people more than ever. And in addition, starting on last Friday, we changed our mask mandate a bit. So masks are going to be mandated if you are not vaccinated at blood drives, but there are other circumstances where masks may be required, including perhaps a local mandate or a mandate for the particular site we're in.
Okay, so it's still kind of very local when it comes to mask wearing.
Yes, it is at this time.
Are you doing temperature checks still at the door?
We are still doing temperature checks.
Are you asking people for proof when it comes to that vaccination status when they walk in, possibly without a mask?
Yeah, we are not. It's strictly on the honor system.
Okay. When it comes to venues, vendors filling up in order to have these blood drives, have things gotten better in the last few months with more and more people getting vaccinated?
I think it's sort of evolving. Everything's sort of evolving with COVID. But we've had such a tremendous number of sponsors that have been so just incredible to us over the last year, that have allowed us to run so many blood drives that we wouldn't have otherwise been able to run. It has been a little bit of a challenge. We haven't been able to get into our schools like we have in the past, and our colleges. Without those sponsors that have been helping us time and time again, we wouldn't have been able to keep the blood supply stable. So we're so thankful for all of those folks.
Michele, what about capacity limits still?
We're going to still have the social distancing. All our beds are still going to be spread out. We're going to limit waiting as we have in the past at our blood drives.
So even, let's say, maybe you have a blood drive at a hotel, would those capacity limits follow that of the hotel?
We've been excluded from those capacity limits from the governor's executive order because we are an essential service.
Okay, very important. You mentioned that summer slump when it comes to donating blood. Is it more so this year? How crucial is it that this messaging get out?
I think it's more important than ever. I think that the focus on donating blood is going to be, it won't be as much in the forefront as it was a year ago, because people are starting to travel and they're doing activities outside, and they may lose sight of the fact that we still need blood. And as you know, Lauren, it's the blood on the shelves that saves lives when there's an emergency.
I know there are some incentives in May as well when it comes to coming in, rolling up your sleeves and giving. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So over the Memorial Day timeframe, we have a T-shirt that we're giving out to our donors. It's a really cool T-shirt too.
Very good. Okay. Just some questions that I've seen pop up when it comes to giving blood and the vaccines. Can someone donate if they've been vaccinated?
Indeed, as long as they're feeling well, they can donate immediately after receiving a vaccine. Any of the vaccines that are currently being given, Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, all of those vaccines do not have a deferral time frame.
Okay, so no waiting period when it comes to giving.
That's right, as long as the donor is feeling well.
Sure. We know there's some second dose side effects, so we still want people coming in healthy enough to give.
Exactly.
Also, can people donate convalescent plasma if they've been vaccinated?
Yes, our program has changed a little bit. So we're actually testing all of our donations to determine if they have if the donation has antibodies for COVID-19. And if they do, that's sort of how we're collecting everything right now. We're collecting it and then we're testing it. And if the donor has the antibodies, then we're using it for convalescent plasma. Sorry.
Okay. And when it came to that antibody testing that you started not too long ago, how has that worked for the Red Cross?
It's been amazing. It's been an amazing program. It's been very successful, and we've had a lot of donors come out to give.
Okay. When there's a lot of information, you know, in an ever evolving, ever changing health crisis like this, is it challenging to make sure that everybody knows the right information when again, it's your business is so crucial to helping others?
I think it is a big challenge, especially with the recent changes with the mask mandates. I think it's more, you know, it's going to be a bit confusing over time here as we transition. But I definitely would say, you know, our guidelines are changing in this sort of evolution, and I would encourage anyone that has questions to call 1-800-RED-CROSS or visit redcrossblood.org.
Okay. Michele, what about volunteers? I know I checked in with a group from the Red Cross in January, and there was people working remotely or they were making phone calls. When it comes to having volunteers coming back into blood donor centers or possibly even going out to emergencies, is that picking up again?
We've been having volunteers at our blood drives throughout the pandemic. Our volunteers are so critical to running our blood drives. So we're actually looking forward to welcoming some of those volunteers back that haven't been able to volunteer with us because of the pandemic. And as folks are getting vaccinated, they're feeling more comfortable coming back. So we're looking forward to welcoming that group of folks back.
When it comes to people coming back, you know, and possibly 14, 15 months, they haven't been giving blood, you know, for a lot of reasons. What are some of the stories you hear from, you know, what would have been your regulars when it comes to donating?
I always find it great to understand the why. Why do they donate blood? And sometimes you hear, my dad donated blood for his entire life. And when I was 16, I started donating blood. Or maybe there's a family story of someone needing blood. It's just tremendous to hear all the stories and the why. Why do people come out? Some people come out because they just think it's the right thing to do, and others have just amazing stories behind their reason for donating blood.
This year, more than ever, would you say the reason you got was, I'm doing it because I know I can make a difference and I know I can do good?
Absolutely.
That's something overarching that came up?
Absolutely, absolutely, especially as the pandemic was progressing, as we went through, you know, April last year and May and the lockdown. And a lot of people said, I'm not working right now. I want to do something that's going to make a difference. Or even people that were working, everyone just really wanted to make a difference, and they really felt that donating blood was something easy that they can do to give back.
Michele, let's say 5, 10 years, we look back on what we've all been through. What are maybe the key points that you think as an organization you may have learned about trying to trudge through a crisis like the rest of us?
Yeah, I think I'm going to look back and be incredibly proud of the work that we've done over the last year. We've continued to collect blood, and it's been tremendous. But, you know, I think communication is great, making sure that our donors know what the guidelines are and what they can expect when they come into a blood drive. I just, you know, really, it's about getting the word out. It's about, getting folks in to donate. And it really has been a very humbling experience this last year, and our ability to change so quickly. And I know we weren't the only organization that had to change so quickly, but we did. And like I said, very proud of the work that we've done over the past year.
And I don't want to let you go without mentioning that this past Friday, the Red Cross marked 14 decades of service. That milestone must mean a lot now.
More than ever, because it almost feels like in the last year we've been through many decades because of how difficult it's been and all of the changes. But yeah, it's great, and to have gone through a pandemic and to hopefully finish up a pandemic here, working for the Red Cross and the work that we've done. It's 140 years is a long time.
Michele, Heleba, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Lauren.